Guys, we are going to look at my picks for the 10 best knives that have come in this year. There is one on here that's my best knife of the year. I also am going to do my Knife of the Year award. We're going to start with this one because it keeps trying to fall over while I'm filming. And it's this one, the RS Chaos. Now, this is a collaboration between Bost Knives and RS Knives. So I want to preface everything we're going to look at today by saying that not all these knives are new knives. But when I say new, that means they just come to the channel. So it's the first time I've seen them was this year. So this is an incredible knife by Bost. There are two versions of this. There's this one and a sheep's foot. And this is an awesome, awesome reverse flick and flipper operated knife by Bost, and it's got this really cool compound grind on it. So you've got this thin area here, this thicker area here, full finger choil, beautiful scales on this, great pocket clip. It is done in a, they call it a top liner lock, but it's very, very akin to the compression lock. It's a button operated top liner lock, which is basically a compression lock. It's very, very similar. Oh, amazingly comfortable in hand this knife is. Great looks on this. It is beautiful, very futuristic. The black and gold on this looks really good. The action on it is amazing. You can treat it just like a button lock and use that deployment as well. Reverse flick on this is beautiful. Pocket clip and everything on this, super comfortable. This is one of the coolest knives that has showed up in a long time. This just recently showed up and I've absolutely fallen in love with. The lines on the knife, closed and open, are beautiful. It is a very good looking knife. I love these knives, and I've mentioned it before, that bring this futuristic form factor. So you get this look that is amazing, but it doesn't give up anything in performance and use. It is still a functional knife. There are too many knives out there that tried to do the over the top thing and take away from the actual knife itself. So these things are great. I'm going to put as many purchase links as I can for these knives down below, but this thing is probably my favorite Bost they've made. Now, there's a bunch of them out there. There's Bost Nightshade and a couple others, but this thing is great. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video because I'm going to try and put it up close to New Year's. So let's move on to the next knife. And it's the KATSU CK01. This is their carbon fiber 154 cm version of a knife that is very similar to a Rox. Now you can see it does have a secondary bevel on this because I have resharpened this a couple times because I use this all the time. These things are only $89 and the quality level on them is insane. Some of the best carbon fiber you're ever going to see. Beautiful jimping on the spine and the scale liners on this. It is a liner lock. There is no pocket clip on this, but this comes with a very, very good sheath that you can use scout carry or vertical. It is a good package. This is a knife that finds its way in my watch pocket a lot. Full convex on this. This is some of the best heat treated 154 cm I've had. It is razor sharp if you sharpen it, do it. Now, can I do a full convex on this? Yes, I can. I just don't see the need to right now. I will if this gets thicker. I can always put this on my Scotch-Brite and readdress that and then just bring this down and then resharpen it. But I don't think we're going to have any problems because it holds its edge really, really well. The action on it, top flipper only, but it is beautifully done. You can do it index finger across the top. This runs on ceramic bearings, ceramic detent. It is a beautiful, beautiful package. And like I said, this is something that I will use. If I had a $1,500 Rockstead, I wouldn't use it, but I get performance out of this that I'm seeing, like cutting wise, what I would expect from a Rockstead, because it's got that full convex edge, which is just a great cutting platform. And plus, beautifully done. Like all the fit and finish on this, it's just way above what I would expect for a knife that is under $100. So there's your second one. Oh, and it has a spot for a lanyard if you want to put a lanyard hole in it, or put a lanyard on it, I should say. So there you go. There's your number two. So this one is the Terramundi Knives warning button, and it's a Dirk Pinkerton design. It's done by Beyond EDC, and right now, you guys know I have got a coupon code for 40% off Beyond EDC. I believe this model is sold out right now, but this is an incredible knife. This thing is basically a box cutter. It is super thin behind the edge, comes down nice. You got this long point on this, so it makes this stay very, very thin, super straight blade in this curved handle that just falls into the cut exactly the way you want. You've got that pivot button, so it is a flipper, but you've got a button lock built into the pivot. It's very, very cool. I did a video where I took it apart. I'll put a link to it here, where I took this apart and I showed you guys how it works inside. Really, really cool concept. Nice and thin, but broad this way, so it feels good in hand. The action on it is great. Superb jimping on this. This is almost perfect jimping. As a matter of fact, it's perfect jimping. And then you've got this edge on this that's really, really straight, comes down. The long, broad, flat grind on this means that this is really, really thin behind the edge, guys. This thing is a razor. And since, like I said, it's curved completely, it drops down in and you can definitely cut because you're just in that natural cutting position with very little fatigue. If you cut a lot, this might be a knife for you. This is probably one of my favorite Wharncliffe style blades that's on the market right now. I absolutely love this thing. It spends so much time in pocket that I had to put it away and hide it for myself. I actually put it back in its case. It's only out right now because I had to shoot this video. And the fact that the button is, the lock is part of the pivot, you get such a clean look on this knife. You don't have anything detracting. Even on a modern button lock, you still have your pivot and then additional hardware. With it being here and hidden, it just gives it a super clean look. And it's just so much fun. And it's got, listen to the sound of it. It just sounds good opening and closing. It's almost like a ratcheting sound. So there you go, guys. Let's move on.
I just want to acknowledge Dollstrong Knives for sponsoring this video. They are offering a broad selection of knives that will fit the needs of everyone, from the at-home foodie that just putters in the kitchen all the way up to the professional chef level kind of quality. They've got a broad selection of every type of knife you would need for any situation, from choppers all the way down to your fine detail paring knives and things like that. So go check them out. They offer some of the best looking knives as well. This is part of their Shogun series. This is an amazing knife. Go check them out. Support the channel. You know that your kitchen knives are the knives you're going to use the most. Why not get good ones? So now let's turn this around and get back to the video.
This is the Stein Grabber Knives Lamia, and this is a performance cutter, guys. This is probably, no, I'm going to say it. This is the best cutting knife I've had on the channel in a very, very long time. Super thin behind the edge on this. This is some of the best crew wear I've had. This is a flipper, a reverse flick only knife, but the cool thing about this is this is got the capability of running on both washers or bearings. I did a video about that. I'll try to put a link of that one up here. This thing cuts so well. It is an absolute laser. It is probably one of the thinnest knives I've ever had on the channel. Thin behind the edge, I mean. And then the crew wear just takes a gnarly aggressive edge. The heat treat that Alex put on this crew wear is probably the best crew wear I've ever had come in. Reverse flick action on this is awesome. This is currently running on washers, and I didn't see a big change when I went from washers, or from bearings to washers. Not a big change at all. The positioning of the aperture for the reverse flick is perfect. And then this comes down, sweeps down like this, and it radiuses from heel to tip, and it gives you, oh God, that's such a comfortable cutting platform. Great pocket clip on this that is long, but not intrusively long. It doesn't catch on a lot of stuff. And then access to the lock bar on this is just about perfect. This is probably the second best American knife you can get on the market right now, because you guys do know that the Arius it's just that mini Arius that I had here for a while was just absolutely the best knife I ever had on the channel. But it was a really hard decision to make which one was better, and just this one just came in second. So let's go ahead and move on to the next knife right after you guys hear from a sponsor. So guys, I know you've seen a bunch of videos about this, but I just can't stop telling you guys how good this is. This is the Yan Knives East meets West. It is being done for Yan Knives by Riyadh, and this thing is awesome. This is a top flipper, but it has two blades. So you have a you have like a full tanto on this side, and then you have a trailing port Bushido blade on this, a more traditional blade. Handles are completely curved on this. This is done in titanium and M390, and it is incredible. I thought it was kind of gimmicky because the videos I was seeing were the guys with it like this, and this is what you saw on the table at the knife show, but it is not a gimmick. It is a great, great user knife. And the cool thing is you don't give up any comfort because it doesn't have a pocket clip. It's nice and broad. It feels good in the hand. It really feels your hand, especially if you have larger hands like I do. And people are like, oh, it doesn't have a pocket clip. It comes with a beautifully done pocket slip with a titanium clip and quality leather. It just sits in your pocket beautifully like this. There's not too much tension on this that it's hard to get in and out of pocket. But then when you look at the knife, this beautifully done inlay on this. Now, it comes in a bunch of different kinds of materials for these inlays, but I chose micarta because I just like the way micarta feels. This is one of the few knives that I can absolutely top flip. The blades on it are done beautifully. You can see I used it enough that I had to sharpen this, and I actually knocked the tip off of this in use. The cool thing about it is if you do a lot of heavy duty cutting, you can put your thumb up on here like a ramp, and you can definitely just power down, especially on the straighter one, which is the Tonto, because now you've got this area here. So if you're cutting cardboard, you just need to power through it. You just get your thumb up on here, and it's not going to give you that big finger toil that a lot of people complain about, because these are relatively short blades. But I absolutely literally just took this out of my pocket for this video because it spends so much time on my pocket. It practically lives in my pocket all the time. So let's move on to the next one. It's the QSP Kestrel, and it is a small little knife, but it is brilliant. This is in 14C28N burlap micarta, and this thing absolutely just screams through material. It is a smaller knife, and the thing is, it doesn't feel like it really. It's got a big feel to it. You got a lot of blade. It is done in this clip point, almost buoy, looks like a buoy style point on this, but it is just absolutely super functional. You can get up on this, even on a small knife like this. I've got a full 4-finger grip. You get way up on here and you can just power through stuff. The blade is nicely done. The finish on it has held up admirably considering how much cardboard I put it through. And the only thing I've had to do this 14C28N since it came in was just give it a quick strop. I may have hit it on a ceramic rod. The handles on it are just this rustic canvas micarta or burlap micarta. You can see it. It is just absolutely beautiful, and it is tactile. It's grippy. Not only does it look cool, look rustic, but you've got real good grip on this. Pocket clip is a relatively short pocket clip that is fairly deep carry, but it is a good pocket clip because it's nice and broad and it sits up here. It doesn't walk around at all. And then they've done these holes to match. So not only does this is one of the few knives that has a lanyard hole in it that I don't mind, because what they've done is just these holes across the back where your hardware is at in this one. And then you could use this one as a lanyard hole. It does not detract from the aesthetics of the knife. As a matter of fact, I love the way this looks. Thumb stud action on this, the actual flipper tab, they are all really good. This QSP knives have got some brilliant action on their knives. And then in here, if you look, they've done weight reduction on these liners. So even though this is a small knife and it was already fairly light, it's even lighter, which gives it a really good neutral pivot area balance on this knife. And you've got great access to the lock bar right here with a little bit of jimping on it. So the QSP Kestrel. So this is absolutely not a new knife, but like I said in the beginning, these are knives that are new to the channel or that I saw the first time this year. And this is the Kapara by Spyderco. And I think this is probably the best Spyderco they make when it comes to aesthetics and cutting and things like that. I love my PM2. I love the Endura series, but when you really look at it, this is just a beautiful knife. And it is so comfortable because of the way these handles are shaped. Now, this is basically a 1-for-1 reproduction of Alistair Phillips' redback, which I sharpened a redback, an actual redback, a while ago. And I got to say, this is a very, very faithful reproduction. You've got this area here, so you don't have a finger choil, but you've got an upper shelf for your finger. So if you want to get way up on this, it's great. You've got all belly, but it's not so radiused that you lose any of the ability to do the things you do on like a Warncliffe. It is in a compression lock, which is probably my favorite Spyderco lock. You can reverse flick. Well, you can if you don't have problems with your hands like I do. You can reverse Spidey flick off that. You can just slow roll it. You can actually disengage your compression lock and flip it out. I'm trying to do it on camera. It's hard to do. Carbon fiber on this is beautiful. This is in I think this is, what was this one? S30V, I believe, but I can't remember 100%. CPM S30V, yeah. But the S30 on this is very good, and it is a nice thin blade, so it takes a beautiful edge. You've got a reversible pocket clip on this, which is one of these super comfortable wire clips. And then the handles on this are contoured all the way across, and it gives it a really good feel. The carbon fiber on it is attractive, and it's been done to a point where you get the refractory look of carbon fiber, but it doesn't feel slick. So just an all-around win from Spyderco. I wish I had seen one of these sooner, but I'm like, hey, you know what? It showed up this year. We may as well put it on the list because it's really, really good. So let's go ahead and move on. This is my pick for the best knife this year, excluding the Arius. The Arius is a different category. It's not fair to even compare that to any of the others. This is probably the best knife I've seen in a long time for a lot of reasons. It's not my knife of the year, though, and we'll talk about that in the knife of the year video. This is the Something Obscene J-Cape V4. And this thing is absolutely amazing. Super thin hollow grind, nice flat on this. So you get that really cool dual grind look where you see the hollow marry into the flat. The flat is super, super sharp, even though it's not as thin as the hollow. The handles on it are what really does this for me. This is a big, beefy knife, but it's not one of those knives that feels like it's crazy overbuilt and doesn't cut. It's not like some of the big thick bladed overbuilts. This is just about a perfect feel in hand. You've got this big thumb ramp with great, almost perfect jimping on it. It is good. It's not quite perfect. It should have been a little bit more of it, is basically what I would say. Access to the lock bar is great. You've got this beautiful, listen to this. It just slams open, then falls shut. It cuts really, really well. The only thing I've had to do since this has been here, even though I did cut a lot with it, was touch it up. You can see I touched it up on a ceramic rod and a strop. Nice faceted blade on this with multiple different directions satin. So your satin goes this way, then it goes this way, then it goes this way, then it comes back down. And any direction you look at it, it just looks amazing. But like I said, functionality on this is amazing as well. It just cuts so well. It is one of the best cutting knives we've seen in a long, long time. And then it just is beautifully done. Black and silver, kind of this monochromatic finish on this, but this is an inlay. So it's titanium with a titanium inlay. So you get this really good look. And then great pocket clip on this with this one that's lightning bolt, but it comes with a second pocket clip if you don't like this one that has just a more standard pocket clip with the lightning bolt cut in it. I liked the original Something Obscene J-Cape, but it had some issues with it that absolutely have been resolved in this knife. So cannot recommend this knife more highly. Unfortunately, right now it's not available. So let's go ahead and move on to a knife that has been overlooked by way too many people from a company that has been overlooked by way too many people. This is the Rosecraft Blades Bara. Now, Swags designed this, and this is something she designed so that when she was bartender, she would have wanted this because it does have a tool that comes on it that I have removed. It's a little bottle top lifter and bottle opener. But what you've got here is an incredibly good little EDC knife with a super comfortable handle on this. This nice narrow blade is done in a thin blade stock, but it's a full flat, so it comes down all the way to the edge, and it just gives you a great cutting knife. This screams through cardboard, it screams through anything. It is fit for kitchen tasks. It's like a folding paring knife. I did a lot of cooking stuff with this. You've got beautiful action on this. Look, reverse flip, bang, slams open. Forward flip off the thumb studs, bang. Now, as a guy with bigger hands, I do have a bit of an issue accessing the lock bar, but I can overlook that because of what this is meant to be. It is nice and thin, but the action on it is just insane. This one is done in, I believe, AR RPM 9 steel. I can't remember, but it has held its edge and it strops up really, really well. Stonewash finish on this. These are awesome, and I'm typically not a fan of blue G10, but the blue G10 on this is really, really good. And like I said, pocket clip on this one, fairly deep carry. It's a nice squared off. It sits nice and deep, but it is a broad pocket clip that when these pocket clips are broad and they transition down, zero hot spot on those. Just an awesome, awesome all-around knife. And I love the handle shape. Like I was saying, you drop in here and then you've just got such a good grip and control over this knife. It feels like a folding kitchen knife because kinda that's what it is. So there you go. The Rosecraft Blades bar. You guys need to check out Rosecraft Blades. I have a discount with them with coupon code CrazySharp. I don't make anything on a sale, but you can save 10% site-wide at Rosecraft Blades with my coupon code CrazySharp. All lowercase, all one word. And so an honorable mention, because this was all just folding knives. This is my Lon Humphrey Customs Tucson, and this is truly an everyday carry. This is the only knife that I put on my belt when I get up in the morning and I take off when I go to bed. This is absolutely incredible. These are available. Lon, I've talked to him a few times, great guy, but this is an amazing knife. You can get them on Knives Ship Free. I've got a link to Knives Ship Free down below. This is absolutely amazing. Sheath and everything combined. This is probably my favorite everyday carry fixed blade, and that's a lot coming from a guy that designed an everyday carry fixed blade. So now let's move on to last but not least, the CJRB Frac. This thing is amazing. Now, they have an S90V version, and a lot of people are surprised that I didn't pick that one. This is their steel and ARPM 9 version, but there's several different versions of this. This thing is not only really cool looking, it is done in a beautiful button lock, and the handles on it are just crazy comfortable. They are. You've got this big finger choil up here that you can get into, and then you've got this awesome blade that is radiused all the way from heel to tip, but does not detract from its ability to do things. It has got a really nice push cut to it. So when you've got it in hand like this, you can just push cut down through things, starting here and working your way back. Like you can just see, like that radius just allows you to push through cardboard so well. ARPM 9 is easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, and it takes a very good edge at about 1,000 grit, which is where this one is. Mine has actually now been stropped on EDC and Lace's 9 micron emulsion or suspension. It is awesome. We're going to do a video about this. This is a very aggressive edge on this. The steel is insanely good, in my opinion, for what the price point is. A lot of people like to crap on it. Button locks on these CJRBs are awesome. This thing, you can slow roll it, you can flick it, you can use the button. It's got a reversible pocket clip because button locks are ambidextrous, and you can replace this with their aftermarket pocket clip for a cooler look. They have these titanium pocket clips. The texturing on this with this frag pattern is just done so well. It's not sharp, but it still gives you grip. It doesn't feel slippery, but it also isn't aggressive or sharp. It doesn't catch on pockets. I love button locks. I'm glad there's so many new budget, more readily accessible button locks on the market, because it's a great lock mechanism that's been overlooked because a lot of the budget ones were just really bad. You're not getting that with these. So there you go. That was 10 knives that I've absolutely fallen in love with this year. Let's turn this around. We'll do some final thoughts and send you out about your day.
All of those great knives. Some of my favorite knives ever are on that list, to tell you the truth. And if the Koenig Arius was still here, you would definitely be seeing it. But it's already been shipped off to my buddy Jesse, so it's not happening. Absolutely love that knife. That is the best knife I have ever handled. And it will be making a return back to the channel as soon as he has uglied it up so that I can actually do a lot of testing on it. So Guys, that's it on this one. Hopefully you guys have had a good year. Hopefully you've enjoyed spending your year with me. If you do enjoy it, share my videos with people. Drop a like. It's the easiest thing you can do. It doesn't cost anything, and very few of you actually do it. And if you don't like the video, drop a dislike. But try to tell me why, because I can't tell you. I can't change the stuff unless you tell me what I'm doing wrong. Lots of ways to support the channel. I'm sure I threw an affiliate ad in there. Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail, Dull Strong Knives. Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail have got discounts built in their links. I also have a coupon code of Crazy Sharp, all one word, all lowercase, that works at both of those, but also saves you 40% at Beyond EDC and 10% at Rosecraft Blades and Fair and Forged Knife Works. If you don't want to purchase anything from those guys, I have got affiliate links with Blade HQ, Knives Ship Free, GP Knives, pretty much your major vendors and individual knife companies. Take those, use those, shop there. Take my Amazon store, pin it to your browser, use it for any Amazon shopping you're going to do, and you can join my membership where I've got a lot of benefits. Check that out. They are tier-based, and not everyone gets the same benefits. So, guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.